Hello, it's Courtney with balancewithcourtney.com. I am passionate about helping others discover their happy and inspire them to make it a daily habit. My intention is to hack happy by interviewing experts to share their story and inspire others and create a happy movement. Today's happy expert is Emily Muia. Did I say that right? Muia?
Close. Muia. Like,
Muia. Oh,
booyah.
that makes me want to just keep saying it. I love it. Emily is an online business owner and mom of two. She helps her busy entrepreneurs build their business faster so they can make more money, have more freedom, and enjoy life. Emily believes we all must live with intention to consciously create the life we've always wanted. She helps her clients get clear in their business message, their brand, and build a thriving online business that allows them to live their best life. During the process, they work on aligning every aspect of their life with what most matters. Welcome, Emily.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
That is beautiful. Oh, here we go. I got to say that again. Make more money, have more freedom, and enjoy life. Who doesn't want that?
Exactly.
Oh, I mean, that's happy right there, right?
Yeah. If you ask me, it is. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, wonderful. Well, let's dive right in. I want to hear your story of how you found your happy and how you found that this is what you wanted to share with others.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Gosh, where to start, right? I think really my entrepreneurial path started after I became a mother. So I had kids a little bit later in life. I mean, I wasn't old by any means, but was almost 35 when I had my first. And so I'd had kind of a 12, 13-year career that I enjoyed, but I was kind of ready to give up and be the mom that I wanted to be. What I didn't think would happen was that I became really unhappy and really lost. And I spent years feeling really, really guilty about that. Like feeling like, how come being a mother not be enough? Like, this is what I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to be home with my kids when they're little. Why do I feel so unfulfilled? So I spent a lot of years feeling guilty about that. And then I actually moved across country. This is kind of what changed it. I moved from Arizona to Wisconsin. And I went from having kind of like a family to raise my children with, not relative family, but like my chosen family, because I didn't have any family there. I had a group of moms. We hung out every day. We raised our kids together. And then I moved here and I became even more unfulfilled because I didn't have that tribe behind me. Right. And that's a really important thing for me, is being connected with people. So I just kind of went in this downward spiral. My poor husband, I mean, he was such a trooper because I just was really unhappy. I don't know how else to explain it. I was irritable and crabby and I just needed something. I didn't even know what I needed. And then I just started thinking about how I could really use an income, right? We could use an extra income. And I kind of put those two things together, like, oh, I could try to have some kind of business to have something for myself and still bringing in an income for our family. Since, we'd spent a lot of money moving across the country. A whole semi pulled up into our house in Arizona to load our stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, do we really have that much stuff? But we did. So anyway, so that's really what started me on my journey. And I started with a network marketing company, which was fine. Except what happened is what I thought was going to make me really, really happy actually made me stressed, because I was trying to be the best mom I could be. I was like determined that I wasn't going to give up any of the mom things that I did. But then it's hard to build a business when you're not willing to make any sacrifices. So after quite a bit of time of trying to manage all of that and kind of feeling like, okay, this isn't making me happy. I thought this was going to be great. This isn't making me happy at all. I decided that there had to be a way that I could have both. And so I really started digging in. And this is where my journey through aligning my life with what I truly want kind of started. I started thinking, okay, what do I really want out of life? Is this what I want? Is this business what I want? Or do I need, is there something else that I'm missing in my life, right? So I spent a lot of soul searching and went through this whole process of like really examining everything I did every day and deciding whether it aligned with my future goals, what I truly wanted in life, if it was really that important to me. And I started eliminating things that didn't feel like they fit where I was going or where I wanted to be. And so that's why I'm really passionate about it, because really the process I went through was almost like putting together a puzzle, right? We all, especially women, because we're very much caregivers, even if it's not to our own children, but to our partners and to our parents and, so many people. We're always trying to take care of people. We have so many aspects in our life. We got to figure out how we can manage them all and put them all together and make sure that what we're doing is what's going to get us to where we want to be, or keep us where we want to be if we're already there, right? Because many times I go through this process often. I actually just went through it recently because I was like, why am I feeling like I can't manage everything? Like I haven't been able to, I haven't felt that way in a really long time. And then I realized that I had let some things creep in that really don't serve me. And it's not that it sounds really selfish. It's not about that, but I am actually a better mother, a better wife, a better daughter to all of the people that are in my life when I keep focused on what's important to me, which for me is family, health, and my business. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how I found my happy. It's kind of a long story, but I just decided that I had to help other women who have the same aspiration to be the mom they want to be, or the partner or whatever, and have that flexibility and freedom to be able to do that. So that's kind of where that started. And then I started coaching other business owners to kind of do the same thing, examine their life. And also, what goes in there too is designing a business that you really love, not just doing a business that you feel like you have to do.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Oh my gosh, so many beautiful nuggets in there. So many. I really want to stress though here, my business is Happy Balance. And what that is creating a balance, mind, body, and spirit, where we are in alignment at all times, so that we feel that we are in the power of creating the life we want to live. And you did that every step. I love how you kept saying you check in. And if you weren't feeling right, you're like, okay, what am I doing that is not bringing me joy and that's not serving me? And you'd get rid of it. And then you'd bring more in that does. And that's constantly keeping you on that balance. It's keeping you ahead of the game. It was so beautiful, because there's so many times we're just living life and we think that everything is happening, or how we're feeling other people are creating. And it's like we're walking through mud constantly trying to make something happen, but we never take that time to check in with ourselves and say, what do I need? What is working for me? What is not? We do that on everything else, right? We do that with our family. We ask our kids that. We do it with our business. We have our monthly goals and our daily goals, but our personal goals, we don't do that. That is so beautiful.
And part of that for me too was deciding what makes me happy. Like what makes me feel, what do I do that makes me come back to my reality feeling happy and fulfilled?
And then you share it with others.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely beautiful.
And that's be different for everybody. For me,
sure.
I need to be connected to people. There's nothing better than like a girls' night out or a cup of coffee with a friend. Like that re-energizes me. And so that I know when I'm kind of getting like this sluggish, like, okay, who can I like go have coffee with? Right?
Yeah.
So,
and mine's a walk out in nature all by myself.
Yeah,
everyone is so unique. And it's discovering who you are and what you want.
Yep.
These things that everything else we say we learned in kindergarten, but we didn't learn that.
No.
We learned what everyone else wanted us to be.
Absolutely. And you know what? Nobody's going to create the life that you want, but you. Right? Nobody can do that for you. Your spouse can't do that for you. Your kids can't do that for you. Nobody can do it for you. You have to make it happen yourself.
Oh, gosh, so beautiful. Well, this goes in perfect to the next question. Define what happiness means to you. Everyone, when they hear that word, they think of something else.
Yeah, that's interesting. So happiness for me is almost like, when I think of myself as happy, right, I think of myself with a smile on my face. I tend to smile a lot. It's just like a genetic trait. My mother's the same way. Even when I'm arguing, I'm smiling. Can't help it. But
I'm very angry with you right now.
My husband hates it. He's like, I'm being serious. I'm like, so am I. No. Anyway, like I imagine myself smiling and laughing, but what I think true happiness is like this feeling of peace and content and being surrounded by the people that you love and knowing how you can influence others and help others along their own journey. That is happiness to me.
Well, you are definitely in the right position doing what you're doing. Oh,
Thank you.
wow. Beautiful. So how do you maintain your happy and make it a daily habit? Something that you're feeling every day?
One of the things that I have done that has made a huge difference in my ability to stay in a positive space is meditating. And I used to think it was woo-woo and yeah, that must be great, but who has time for that? And when I started doing it on a regular basis, I don't do it every single day necessarily, but I do it a lot.
Yeah.
And when I do that, I am able to stay in this place of really like seeing where I want to be. And for me, because I am kind of like, I'm, what's the right word? Like accomplishment driven, right? So
you bet.
I get where I want to be. And then I kind of like, okay, what's the next thing?
Yeah.
That's just
Goals
kind of
driven.
how
Sure.
I thrive. Right. So, I am really able to focus on whatever that is that I want to improve. And that's not always business. Sometimes that's the relationship with my husband or, you know, spending some more alone time with my kids, whatever it is I feel like I want to do better at. It really like it elevates me. And it's been so powerful. So I have been sharing that with a lot of people and trying to get, even when I'm in a bad place, right? Something bad happens and I'm in a bad place. I will spend just 5 minutes in like this heart meditation to myself, just to kind of lift myself out of that space and to be able to let it go. That is one of the biggest things for me is maintaining that. And then, like I said before, connection is a huge piece of this for me. So I need to connect with my husband every day. I need to connect with my kids every day. And I enjoy being social. So that even though I don't sometimes always feel like going out and being social, you know, when it's bunko night, I go because I know in the end, I'm always going to be happier that I did. Because it just gives me this revitalization.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question about that? Because I hear women say that a lot. Even though I didn't want to, I did it anyway. So when do you know that something you don't want to do, you really shouldn't be doing versus something you don't want to do and you know you're going to be happy you did it later? What is the difference?
That question, right? Because there's a lot of times you just have to listen to yourself and be like, this is not, if I don't feel like doing this, I shouldn't be doing this. I love this question. Gosh, I don't know if I can answer it. But I think for me, it's knowing how I feel after, right? So I've done this, you know, I'm in a couple groups that because I know that I need the socialization, I make sure that like I'm in a book club, I'm in Bunko, because it's not just setting up a date with a friend. It's like the date's set. And first of all, I like to keep my commitments. So if I say I'm going, I just can't be like, I can't go. So for me, I think for those types of things, I don't feel like going, but I know that I'm going to feel better that I did. And so that's what pushes me to go. But there are other times where, and I think it comes back to that feeling of joy and fulfillment, right? If something that is coming up, even if you've never done it before, I can't think of anything right now. I don't know if you're going to go to a wedding of a relative that you don't get along with, right? I think it's when you really think about that, how does that make you feel? Is it going to be, I mean, does it align with it? Is it important? Is it really that important? Is it not? Is it something you could let go? Because sometimes we do have to do things we don't want to do, right? But
You bet.
I think for me, it's just like checking in with the inside.
Yeah.
You know?
So hearing you speak, correct me if I'm wrong, what you said was, if you've had a positive outcome before, you're more willing to do it. But if you've had a negative outcome before, you're more willing to say, I'm not going there again. And that key, does that sound right?
Yes.
So that key is where setting intentions come to play. And I think a lot of people get confused with that, but we all have experiences and we create those experiences. So if you had a bad experience, you could have been a different person at that time and looked at things differently. So if we can set an intention and say, you know what, I'm going to go into it this way and this is what I want to happen and try again. You know, we have that power, and I think that's where we get held up. And what happens is we end up missing out on some magical things that could have happened, or new experiences, new things we could have learned, new people we could have met because of a past experience we had. So just checking with yourself and saying, am I not going because of this that happened in my past, or am I not going because my body just really doesn't want to do this?
Yeah, I love that. And, you know, a big part of that too, I think, is that, you know, like I said, sometimes we just have to do things we don't particularly want to do. I mean, I
Mhm.
don't particularly love packing lunches every morning. As a matter of fact, I dread it. I'm like, oh, I gotta pack lunch again. But
Mhm.
I mean, that's a bad example. But I mean, I instill this to my kids all the time, is that, you know, go with a good intention, go with a good attitude, is what my mom used to say. I say more like a good intention, because before I might, let's say I have to go into a situation where I have to confront somebody about something and I'm, you know, dreading that, I take a moment before I get into that conversation to set the intention. What's my goal for this conversation? Is it just to point out that my feelings were hurt? Am I needing something in return? And kind of setting my intention, because then I'm less likely to react, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, even going into situations or deciding whether you're going to go to that relative's wedding, you know, set what intention that you want for that event. And if we can go in there knowing I am not going to let anybody maybe rouse a confrontation in me, you know, if that's a problem, we're much more likely to be able to get through those things too.
Yes. Yes. And how empowering is it for us to know that we have that control?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for answering that question, because I hear that a lot. You know, what does I don't want to go really mean?
Well, and sometimes it's just, I'm tired, you know,
Exactly. Exactly.
I don't have the energy. I just want to like check out and watch TV.
Yeah,
But
it's
that's
not personal.
such a great thing for me. Sometimes that's okay, but sometimes that's not good either, you know? I
Hmm.
think it depends on the core reason for not wanting to go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
So this next question is close to the first one, but it's all about putting yourself back into alignment. So, you know, those mornings we wake up and we're just not our best selves. It's just the cards aren't played. It's just not going to happen. What do you do to support yourself through that day to try your best to get back into alignment? And kind of like, how do you look at it?
Well, first thing, honestly, I would do meditation. I
So
usually have
start
to,
the
I'm
day
not a
first.
morning, well, I don't start the day that way because I'm
Well, I
not a
mean,
morning
if you wake
person.
up on the wrong side of the bed.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like,
Okay.
I am not the person that will wake up and have an hour early to meditate or something. I'm just not a morning person. So I get up, take my kids to school, and this happens to me often, by the way. I kind of,
Okay.
because I'm not a morning person, I don't really want to speak to anybody for the first hour or so,
Okay.
but I'm forced to. My little ones
Right.
running around, right? So
Mommy's
I
not talking
often,
this morning.
yeah, I often have mornings like this because I'm just a little crabby and, you know, I'm trying to get everything together. And I mean, this is honestly something I've tried to work on in the past, is
Mm,
having a little me time before, and I just can't seem to let it happen or make it happen. So sometimes what I do is, if I'm, you know, I find myself barking at my kids, that's the most likely thing because my husband's usually gone by then.
mm,
I sometimes go into my room, I say, I'm going to go get dressed. And I go into my room and I just like breathe a little bit, right? And like do the same thing that we're talking about, is set my intention. Like, I love my children. They're not trying to be annoying, you know, and go back out with a different intention. So that's kind of like my quicker method.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and like that heart meditation I was telling you about, I don't know if, for anybody who's not familiar with heart meditation, it's basically just like closing your eyes, breathing in love to yourself, breathing out love to yourself or to somebody else or to something that's about to happen. And you can do it for 10 seconds, you could do it for 5 minutes, it's whatever. And
Mhm.
that has really helped me. So when after I drop my kids off and I come back home and it's like, oh, okay, like I got to restart my day, I honestly meditate. um, that is new within the last 6 months. Before that, I had a really hard time with that,
Mm.
getting myself back to a place where I was kind of aligned with my day. Sometimes I would just kind of shut down and just have a really bad day, not necessarily a bad day, unproductive day. For me,
Yeah.
that's kind of a bad day because I thrive
Yeah.
on that. um, that has been a huge life change for me, is really discovering how powerful that meditation can be, to just
Medita-
bring me.
you said it perfectly, hon. Meditation is medication. So
It's true. It really is. It really
that's
is.
pretty perfect.
So that's like the biggest thing for me. And then I think sometimes the other thing is I just like, I go for a walk, right? I just, even when I'm working and I'm working on a I don't know, blog or something, and I just can't quite get into it, I just walk away for a while and go do something that I know fulfills me and kind of lifts me up, and it usually works.
So you allow yourself to take a break for you.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't push through it. Yeah. And from what I hear you saying, the past was you would just push through it and you just be in that mood all day. It's like, this is just what today's going to be. It's just where I'm going to be. But instead, you say, nope, I'm going to give myself some self-care. I'm going to take a meditative break.
Or just even walk around the block sometimes does it,
Yeah, just something other than what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So can I say something about when you wake up? I found that when I first wake up, if I'm like just black cloud over my head, whatever you want to call it, just not your best self, if I can take a pause and just say, okay, this is where I'm at, and I just had 8 hours of sleep, I am grateful that I took care of myself there. There's something about that shifts. It's like my day has already begun and it's better because I got a good night's sleep. Does that make sense? So it's like I'm constantly trying to think of things of how did I get to this moment so I can get to the next moment, and I can get to the next moment, and I can get to the next moment. Because I think we look at our whole day like, okay, I'm starting out bad, and now I have this whole day, all these things to accomplish in this mood. Yes. Instead of, okay, what can I do right now so I can do the next minute, the next minute, the next minute.
I like that. Yeah. I love that. Just taking that moment. And speaking of sleep, I mean, that is a huge self-care thing for me. And it took me many, many years. I mean, I'm 43. It probably took me 41 years to realize how important that is, because I'm naturally more of a night owl, but I have to force myself to go to bed because life is just much better at any time when I've gotten enough sleep.
That's so true. And you said it yourself. You said that you could get up earlier, but you choose not to. You choose not to because sleeping is so important to you. So you are listening to what you need.
Yeah.
Not everyone's a morning person. We just need to accept that. I think this whole morning, you have to have a magical morning routine and do this and do that and, do 50,000 things before your kids get up. It doesn't work for everyone.
I love that you said that, because there are many, many years since I started a business and really started like personal development, where I would push myself to be a morning person. Not even just enjoy it, but just to get up earlier and do all those things. And for me, that was never motivation enough. I would rather stay up an hour later and do those type of self-care things at night. That's just me. And I finally just like, this is just me. I don't have to force myself to be in this mold. I could do my thing after my kids go to school or at night or whenever it suits me. Right? Yes. As long as I'm doing those things.
Yes. And as long as it's suiting you. So true. Oh, this was so good. Thank you so much. So before we say goodbye, do you have anything else you want to share with maybe someone out there that's struggling to find their happy?
You know what? I would just say, like, don't give up. Start really examining yourself and what makes you happy. And I got to tell you what, when I felt my unhappiness, when I was with the worst of my despair, I didn't know what made me happy. It was kind of a self-discovery. I had really lost myself in motherhood. It is hard not to. You have a baby and a toddler, and that's your entire world. It is hard not to. And I was perfectly happy to give up a lot of those things in the beginning. I didn't realize what kind of effect that would have on me, right? To give up my hobbies and the things that I loved. I didn't think that mattered anymore. All that mattered was my babies. So I guess I would say to any mother out there who has little kids, it is so important that you keep yourself in mind. You will be a better mother. You will parent better. You'll teach your kids better lessons. I learned that the hard way for sure. So I think that, just really be intentional about your life. Really start thinking about what it is you want and what you need to do in order to get there, and what blocks you have in your life that you just need to let go of. It's hard. I'm not telling you that it's easy.
Oh, no, there's nothing about it that's easy.
Yeah, it's very worth it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's so worth it. And I want to say something to the moms out there that do have young kids as well, because when you're in it, my daughter is now 21. And so I know what it feels like when they leave home.
Mm-hmm.
And just remember that this is such a short, beautiful time. And it's so important to learn how to put yourself first, even when you're a mom, because when your child is gone, if you did not learn that lesson, you will go through this whole experience again and even deeper, trying to find yourself. And you will be missing that thing that you have attached yourself to that was bringing you the joy. And that's when I went through my journey, was when Allie walked out the door to college. So I always say that to moms, because that is the time. That is the time to learn to put yourself first.
I so agree.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So will you please tell everyone how to get in contact with you and anything you have going on right now?
Sure. So my website is emilymuia.com. It's just EMILYMUIA. You can find me on Facebook the same way, same name. I have one of the things that I love teaching people about is living intentionally. And
well, that was perfect.
I know. I've been searching for a different term about it instead of intentional living, because I think people feel like it's just, I don't know. I'm going to find one someday. Someday I'm going to find one. But I have a couple of things. One is a free guide that is my number one secret to maximizing my productivity and crushing my business. And that has everything to do with your entire life, not just your business. You can get that just by going to emilymuia.com/my1secret, one, the number. I am coming out with something probably by the time this airs that is specifically for network marketers, because one of the groups of people I've been working a lot with lately is network marketers. And I've really been working with them on fine-tuning their messages so that they are finding the people that they want to find. And people are kind of coming to them, and they're not being ignored. I mean, that's what it's called. Called Stop Being Ignored. 3 network marketing formulas that will get attention. So often, and I've been there because I started network marketing. So often we feel like, people glaze over, they avoid you in the grocery store, they don't write you back. And a lot of that has to do with how we're approaching conversations. So that will be out by the time this airs, and you could just go to emilymuia.com / stop being ignored to get
Perfect.
that.
And I'll have all this in comments. So
if you get the number one secret one, you'll automatically get the other one, because I always send it out to my
Can
list.
you give a quick description, because not everyone knows what networking? No, hold on.
Network marketing.
Thank you. Yeah. Obviously, I'm not familiar with it. Can you just fill others in on what exactly that is?
Yeah. Network marketing is an industry of people who build their own teams and sell some type of product. So an example might be Isogenics, right? So you can only get Isogenics products through a distributor. I think there's different terms for the different things. It's either distributor, consultant, rep, something like that. You can only get the products through somebody in particular. And then those people are also trying to build their teams. And that's how, once they have more people under them, they make a residual income off of their team and their product sales as well.
Got it. Wonderful.
So, and that's where I started. I started in a skincare company. I actually still am a consultant for them, but it's just not my primary focus anymore. Yeah. But I have really realized, and this is kind of part of the business journey too, right? I've been doing a lot of different types of business coaching. And one of the things I've really enjoyed is meeting people where I used to be in the struggling network marketing industry, and really kind of helping them through that, helping them be different than every other network marketer who's sending out messages to every single person in the entire world, right? Have them approach it differently and get different results. So.
Perfect. And did I interrupt? Do you have any more you want to say about what you have going on or where to reach you?
No, I think that's all for now.
Perfect. We'll have everything in comments, so it'll be really easy for them to just click and go.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, hon. This was so helpful for so many people, and I can't wait to share it with others.
I sure hope it has been. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Please hang on until I'm all done.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for taking time for us and for your growth. I hope you discovered new happy habits to support your happiness. Please reach out with questions or if you need more support at Happy Balance Facebook group or balancewithcourtney.com. If you need one-on-one inspiration and support, please book a happy call. Thank you, Emily.
Thank you.